You're listening to the B&H Photography Podcast. For over 40 years, B&H has been the professional source for photography, video, audio, and more. For your favorite gear, news, and reviews, visit us at bnh.com or download the B&H app to your iPhone or Android device. Now here's your host, Alan Weitz.
Greetings and welcome to the B&H Photography Podcast. The Kamoinge Workshop, or Collective, was formed in 1963 with the stated purpose of speaking and representing the lives of African peoples of the diaspora through fine art and photography. Kamoinge exists as a forum of African American photographers to view and critique each other's work in an honest and understanding atmosphere, to nurture and challenge each other in order to attain the highest creative level. In case you're curious, the name Kamoinge comes from the Gikuyu?
Yes,
I got that.
You got that, Alan.
Language of Kenya, and means a group of people acting together. Our guest today, Delphine Diallo, is a Brooklyn-based French and Senegalese visual artist and photographer whose photo work crosses all boundaries from fine art and fashion to portraiture, travel, and still life. Delphine's taken photographs for the likes of Nike, L'Oreal, Save the Children, and the United Nations, and she's been published in Esquire, the New York Times, and the Smithsonian Magazine. Her fine artwork has been displayed in numerous exhibitions around the world, and she published a book entitled The Gift. Russell Frederick is a self-taught documentary portrait photographer and educator, a native Brooklynite of Panamanian lineage. Frederick is the current vice president of Kamoinge. He's photographed President Obama, the Gucci and Dapper Dan joint venture line, and has lectured at NYU, SVA, and ICP. In 2015, Russell organized a United Nations-sponsored workshop of African-American photojournalists, writers, and filmmakers in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Russell's photographs have appeared in the New York Times, the Daily Beast, NBC News, PDN Slate, and his work is in the permanent archives of the Gordon Parks Museum, the Open Society Foundation, the Danny Simmons Art Collection, and several private collectors. Last but not least, Jules Allen was born in San Francisco but calls New York City home. He's a distinguished professor in the Department of Art and Design at Queensborough College. He's published 5 books, including Hats and Hats Not. Actually, it sounds like around over here, Hats and Hat Knots. Doesn't it? It's like, who works here? The Hats and Hat Knots. And his work is in the collection of the Museum of Modern Art, the Brooklyn Museum, the Studio Museum in Harlem, and the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. His work is represented by the Steve Kasha Gallery. I always seem to find some kind of goofy connection between my guests with a topic. Usually has to do with Brooklyn, so we have some Brooklyn mixed in here, or SVA connections, and we have SVA, but I stumbled on a real wonderful one here. While studying the history of your group and its roots, I see the name Lou Draper. Absolutely. And a light went off in me, and I said, wait a minute, I know him. Lou taught at Mercer County Community College for 20 years. I taught alongside him for 6 of those years. He's a wonderful photographer, was a phenomenal human being, and a great friend. So, got a connection going here. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to see we're connected, you know what, from the past until right now, Alan.
Yeah, it's great. It's very good. All righty. Where
So,
would she start here?
Why don't we start, Russell? Give us your take on the history of Kamoinge, and
Sure.
we'll start with that.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting us here, John. Really happy to be here. I'm glad you good people have taken interest in the Black Woman Power and Grace exhibit at the National Arts Club and Kamoinge. So the collective was founded in 1963 by a consortium of photographers, quite a few to name. So it was 2 actual entities that came together in Harlem. And from there, the collective, which was actually really led by, at the time, Ray Francis. He was the person to meet Roy De Carava and invited him to the group. And Roy De Carava was our first director and kind of set the tone for, I think, nurturing the photographers in the group and really, I think, challenging them artistically and socially. So from there, the group has expanded. In 1964, I believe, we had our first show where, it was themed Black. That was the first exhibit ever, done by Kamoinge. The following one was The Negro Woman. and that was the first exhibit at our gallery. It was called the Marketplace Gallery on 139th Street in Harlem. And from there, the group just pretty much, I think, was an environment really created for photographers to get nurtured. There weren't many photography schools at the time. I believe Adra Cowens was probably the only person to have a college degree in photography. Roy De Carava was a major force and influence on the group based on his book, The Sweet Fly Paper of Life, which was done with him and Langston Hughes. And that book, I would say, is definitely, like I would say, the Black photographer's Bible, because that book was the first book to ever show Black people in a dignified manner. And to be authored by someone who was African American is even more important. So from there, the group has expanded and grown, always been committed to excellence and to challenging each other to the highest artistic achievements in photography. There's so much I could say, but I'm going to be brief. I'm going to be brief.
What's the criteria of joining the group?
Great question, Alan. Criteria is, first, I would say it's commitment to photography, commitment to excellence. In the earlier years, I think, where there weren't many opportunities for especially a lot of photographers who were Black, the group really wanted to nurture each other and really change the stereotypical images which existed in media. There weren't many opportunities, I think, for exhibits, but the criteria was commitment to excellence, as well as being open, to critiques, because a part of the group is a critique. You have to present a portfolio. You have to first be invited by someone within the group. That's the first thing.
Sponsor.
Absolutely. So you have to be invited by someone first, and that person who invites you, they really evaluate not just your skill level, but really, I would say, your character, because the Kamoinge character is someone who is a team player, someone who is nurturing, someone who wants to build, because we aren't funded by anybody. So, and also too, we have people of many different talents, and we always pretty much work so much like a family. If one person maybe has equipment or is without or has an expertise in another field, you can lean on, let's say whether this is your brother or sister in Kamoinge, to help guide you. So the other criteria I would say for the group is helping raise the profile of Kamoinge and getting the work out there in the community, as well as too, in media, in publishing, to try to raise awareness and counter, some of the negative images that exist and we have been, I would say, branded with.
Can you describe some of the negative images?
I could, so many. The image that people have, I would say, of Africa. The image that has been created of Africa is just one, I would say, that is always consistent of poverty, of sickness, of conflict, safaris, and indigenous people, where there is so much more than that. The other image that I think the world has just been miseducated on in reference to people of Africa and the African diaspora is just us of Black men, particularly of criminality, of just athletes, of entertainment, again, poverty, broken families, very few images showing our love, our strength, our power, our grace, our excellence. So with this, Kamoinge being pretty much committed to creating positive images, but also images that are honest. So it's not that we don't see some issues. But I think every community, every race, every ethnicity has issues. But the issues of the black community are what I think America and the world really has known. And when you think about it, photographers who are black have never ever owned or been able to control their image. So these images that were first created showed us as slaves. Then you know what? You have the images of the lynching. Then you have, you know what, images of sharecroppers. Rarely, I mean, have we seen the images of the historically black colleges and all of the excellence that has come out of those. Even, again, the greatness that existed in Harlem. I mean, and when you think about those images that came out of the Harlem Renaissance era, if it wasn't for like the Amsterdam News, some of the black papers, Philadelphia Inquirer, even the excellence which has come out of Chicago, how would it, and then also to the black publications, Ebony Magazine, Jet Magazine. And when you think about those particular publications, they didn't have the same range of necessarily like a Life magazine. You know, Gordon Parks, God bless him, you know what he did as great of a job as he could do. Roy de Carava, his book, The Sweet Fly Paper of Life, made history, broke barriers. But so much needs to be done. And this is what Kamoinge is committed to. So my two comrades over here to my left and my right, they have been committed to this as well in raising awareness. Raising awareness. This is something that Kamoinge is all about.
What would you consider the first breakthrough, concrete breakthrough event that happened that you say would put you put the collective on the map, saying, "Okay, we're making progress. We were just heard."
Boy, oh boy, oh boy! Concrete breakthrough. That's
or examples of accomplishments you've had, saying, "Okay, we're getting there. We're making our point. People are seeing and noticing."
Right. I could say probably one of the first I could think of will have to be probably the Black Photographers Annual, which was created in 1973.
We just got a confirmation here.
my brother.
New York.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There you go. So the Black Photographers Annual, founded in 1973. That was founded by also to a former president of ours, Buford Smith. Mm-hmm. He and a gentleman by the name of Joe Crawford, they put together this historic, you know, it was actually 4 volumes that came out, but that was, I would say, major. And how that came about was Mr. Smith, I believe, knew a gentleman by the name of Mr. Sawyer, because Buford Smith worked in, I think, for a print shop. And pretty much Mr. Sawyer was open, you know what, to the collective, to Buford, I think, taking the lead on creating this book. And the whole purpose of the book was for the world to know that there was Black photographers out here who existed. And not only did they exist, but you know what? They were just as good as the white photographers. But the opportunities for employment, you know what, did not exist. The opportunities to really show their greatness in museums and galleries did not exist. So that book, as just noted by Mr. Jules Allen here, him being in California, he saw this, and you know what, inspired him to come from California to New York. And even most recently, it was Sarah Eckhart of the Virginia Fine Arts Museum, I believe, came across the Black Photographers Annual and made it into an exhibit. And from there, so it's had a rebirth. Here it is 40 years later. And to this day, the work that existed in the first Black Photographers Annual, Toni Morrison wrote the intro. It has featured the work of, I believe, P.H. Polk, a lot of Kamoinge photographers, including Roy de Carava, and several other people who are notable, but at the time, you know, just did not really have an equal playing field to be seen and show their excellence.
Can Jules and Delphine talk a little bit about, you know, why why you wanted to join the collective, or what inspired you to get involved?
Delphine?
Sure. The background, I literally escaped France where there is no representation whatsoever of black people excellence. It's literally doesn't exist, or if there is one or two, they're just holding the power for like long times, and then there is not really kind of like a community. It doesn't exist in Paris. So when I moved here, and I decided that when Obama got elected around 2008 to become a photographer, I didn't want to become a regular photographer, because the story is different, which means it's like, well, I have a lack of self-confidence because I'm mixed and French and Senegalese, and then I can't empower myself because I have no reflection. And when I discovered Brooklyn, and when I discovered a community of black people who actually were working on empowering themselves, that gave me a lot of power as well. So when I met Russell, that was already a big deal for me to meet people who actually were making it in New York and were like doing photography for a long time, where actually I was a baby just starting to start to get inspired, you know? So the struggle or whatever I feel in Brooklyn was also into the eyes of Russell, who did the work before me, right? Mm-hmm. So when he asked me to join Kamoinge, I couldn't refuse, you know?
Jules, you want to speak on that?
My historical connection has always been through Buford Smith and Anthony Barboza, Adja Cowens, Roy de Carava. I came to New York to meet Roy de Carava from school, where I was in undergraduate school. I found out about Roy de Carava and Gordon Parks, and actually started photographing as a result of seeing a photograph of Gordon Parks and saying, "Who is this?" to my father. And my father said, I mean, you know, there's this beautiful brother with this mustache and his shearling coat turned up.
And he says, sit up straight when you ask that question.
Right.
Well, no, I was raised in a family where, you know, Duke Ellington and Miles and Count Basie, and the culture was apparent as a healthy culture within the United States. No matter what was going on, there was this healthy culture that existed within us. So when I saw Gordon Parks, I was just like, whoa, who is this? And then I asked one of my instructors, Jack Wellpott, who was a fine photographer and student of Ansel Adams and that whole West Coast thing that I came from, if there was anybody that he knew of that was interested in doing what I wanted to do, which was after the first few years, I wanted to become a street photographer. I liked, of course, Bresson, and Robert Frank was, you know, life on earth.
Sure.
And so I was after that, and when I saw Roy de Carava, I was delighted and intrigued and determined to get to New York to meet him.
Let me ask this. Sorry to interrupt, but is the New York seems to be at the heart of a lot of Kamoinge? I mean, is there something about New York, something about a vibe here that goes hand in hand with it?
For me, listen, Buford Smith was here, and I loved Roy de Carava, but when I saw Buford Smith, to be really honest, Buford Smith's photographs sent me over the edge. And I came to New York. I mean, Buford Smith, man. And I love Lou Draper. And Lou Draper, I think, is and I used to love hanging with Lou when I first came to New York, man, because of his character and his integrity and his wild sense of humor and rhythm. But Buford Smith's photographs cut me so deep that when I got here, I went looking for Buford. I came looking for Buford Smith as well as Roy de Carava.
Yeah. Can you talk about that?
I spent a lot of time with Roy de Carava. I mean, I did an MFA with him in Hunter, and I actually inherited his studio from Buford Smith. So I think a lot about Roy, both clinically and visually.
Obviously, he's at the heart of this, and then I guess if we look back, you see, I mean, you got the two greats, the two pillars, Gordon Parks and Roy, Well, there's more. James Anderson. I mean,
there's
legends,
more than
right.
than just those three. I mean,
obviously,
but
why
Roy is someone that I
the soul
well
of
for
this
me
group,
is because
I guess
Roy, when
at.
I was a young photographer and I saw his work, it was a whole body of work. Sweet Flypaper, I describe it as an opera for myself, of black life or of life, period. Langston Hughes' text is very important, and spending time around Roy was essential for me in terms of my own development and in terms of my carving out a visual approach to photography. That the subject may be this, but the approach is that. So I think about him and have a great deal of feelings about him. He was a very interesting man. And it was very important in many ways. Not only just a photographer, but in studying with him on a graduate level. He was
good teacher.
Impactful.
Impactful. Okay.
An impactful teacher. An impacting teacher. Yes.
Well, you're teaching now, so you bring some of that to your work as a teacher.
Yeah. But I mean, you learn from everyone.
Sure.
William Klein is.
Absolutely.
One thing I would like to add to piggyback what Jules is saying about Roy, and this is something a few Kamoinge members have said to me, that I think isn't said enough, that Roy was very much like a father figure to a lot of the men in Kamoinge. This is factual. I've heard a few men say it, in the group during that time. And his impact, of knowledge, I think, and also to just his walk as a man, as a leader, as a photographer, as someone who was courageous, who was fearless, that just resonated and stuck with a lot of them, to try to be like him.
I mean, he created an aesthetic from which to grow from that is undeniable. I mean, the first time I saw the photograph, he showed me the photograph of two dancers in the ballroom.
Yeah.
And I had never seen that photograph, and I couldn't believe that I had never seen that photograph and that he had never published it. And he was like, well, everything has a time, Jules, and it wasn't time to publish that photograph. It wouldn't have been received the way I wanted it to if I would have published it at the time. And it was just extraordinary to hear a man who had to think about not only the image quality, but the context in which the photographs were made, where and how to present the work, how to protect it and guide it, and sustain his own belief in the work and in working with all that he created that was particularly to a culture that hadn't seen this before. Because black people hadn't seen these photographs either that Roy had made. I mean, a hallway in which you looked down a hallway and you knew exactly what that hallway was. Yeah. I'm talking about something now that's metaphorical in content and that really describes a culture from the inside out. And that Roy was somebody who really knew the value of a temperament in a space that he could translate. And that was a phenomenal thing to learn from somebody who said, you can go inside yourself like that. I mean, to translate that photograph so that you really understood the mood, when it's just, realistically, it's a hallway, but the temperament and the mood and the style and the value he brought to it was an extraordinary lesson to learn from and to grow out of into other approaches to photography. No matter what the subject matter is, you could metaphorically, you could document, you could do...
he captures the essence right there. He knocks everything out.
He knocked everything else out.
It's just, it's almost spirit photography. Listen.
I don't want to. Alan done caught the spirit now.
I don't want to go outside of the realm of the documentary work at hand here, but there's a spirit
Yeah,
that radiates to a learned sensibility that allows you to translate. And it's consistent because each photograph reinforces the next photograph.
That's right.
Collectives, have a. Doesn't matter what the collective is. There's always this issue between, especially when it's art, the individual and the group, right? I mean, because we all want to do our own thing and we all want to excel in our own way, but then we have to work for the betterment of the group as it is, and that can. I mean, collectives are notorious for splitting, right? Can you talk a little bit about, well, two things, that general idea of how a collective stays together, and also about Roy de Carava, because, he was there at the beginning. He already had a reputation. He was a well-known photographer, at least in certain circles, but he didn't stay with the group. Do you know anything about the history of that?
Sure.
Yeah.
So with the group staying together, obviously, when you have a whole lot of chiefs and let's say some unique personalities, some cantankerous, some abstract, some louder than others.
Yeah, but you never find that amongst creatives.
Alan, you're great. And you have all of this great energy. And also, too, I would say you have healthy competition, as well as sometimes nurturing environment and sometimes not so nurturing. And I think the main thing is that everybody who's in the group, where you have so many titans, the main thing is that we're all committed to raising awareness. That is one of the common bonds that we are all into this group, is to raise awareness, to make each other better. Dividing and conquer, conflict doesn't serve any of us well. Disagreements will happen. Creative differences happen with, every damn group, from the Beatles to the Commodores, to the Jackson 5. We can go on and on. We may agree to disagree, but you know what? Let's not lose focus of our mission. And the mission is to create work that will be timeless, to educate, to empower, to change the perception of who we are, as well as to again, raise awareness. That has been the mantra of Kamoinge from the beginning. Now, Mr. De Carava, in talking to some of the elders, because I wasn't born during that time, right. They, would just have informed me that during that time that Roy was a giant at that time. And Kamoinge, I think during some of that time in its early stages, I don't know if Kamoinge at that time was as maybe, I won't say as maybe ready to receive all the expert tutelage of Mr. De Carava, or just that his career was demanding. He was, a legend already. A black man receiving a Guggenheim Fellowship in 1950s. That's epic.
Yeah.
I want to be next.
Yes.
Thank you.
Put me on that Me Too movement right there. Okay.
I'm putting a call in after lunch, by the way.
That's right.
Everything is possible, my friend.
Absolutely. So from this, I think it was just something that was graceful. And you know what? The organization, as evident, has lived on 50 years later. It was a time, I think, for the group to grow. At the time, the leadership was I believe Ray Francis and Lou Draper, some of the other photographers in the group, Jimmy Manis, Sean Walker, Al Fanar, everybody in Harlem, Herbert Randall, just
Well, these
focus.
also just for our listeners out there, this is great that you're mentioning these names. So
Absolutely.
people Google them.
Absolutely.
Wikipedia.
Absolutely.
Look into these people.
These are some of the founders of Kamoinge. Some still here. Want to pay our respects to the founding member, Al Fanar. He's a gentleman who came up with the name of Kamoinge. He passed away last week.
Oh, wow.
God bless him. I believe he was 81. And these men at the time, they saw the value. They had the vision that the work that they were doing and was important. It was important then, and knew it would be even of greater value in the future.
What are some of the practical dynamics of it? Do you guys meet regularly? Do you have is there a gallery or a studio that you call home? Is there an archive?
Absolutely.
And then talk about workshops and how you do educate and
Gotcha.
outreach.
So we meet once a month at Columbia University in the African American Studies Department. Thankful for that from one of our longtime members, Daniel Dawson. He has been a professor there for a number of years, and that has been our current home. We don't have a gallery right now. We have been meeting at Columbia for a good while. I would say maybe even 10 years or a little less than 10 years. In our meetings, we always look to see work of our members and ask to see new work of each other. So challenges are, really producing new work and giving tasteful, critiques, honest and tasteful. At one point in time, they were not tasteful. They were brutally.
The photographs or the critiques?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
And but this is what I would say made a lot of the people in the group who they are, because as we all know, but just hearing compliments isn't going to make you better.
Yeah.
Growth is uncomfortable, and from these critiques, a lot of the members in the group have grown. Anthony Barboza, Sean Walker. There are stories of people walking out of some, trying to become a part of Kamoinge, walking out crying, as well as to even myself. I was welcomed into Kamoinge in 2004 by Eli Reed, and I took one photography course at ICP, couldn't afford anymore, and Kamoinge has been school for me.
That's your school.
Kamoinge has been school for me because we have quite a few top photographers who are very accomplished, like Mr. Allen here. We have people like who were even self-taught, like Anthony Barboza, who is just a master in his own right, who has also too been a great mentor. John Penderhughes. I can go on and on. Add your counts, and people who are accomplished in many different genres. Because John Penderhughes is more so in the commercial field. Eli Reed, photojournalism. And again, a legend in his own right. First and only black photographer. It'll probably be the last black photographer at Magnum. Yeah, I'm saying that on record. Yes. Okay.
And a gentleman. An absolute gentleman.
Always been first class. Always has. So, and then, we have to speak about our first woman of Kamoinge, Ming Smith.
Okay. Yeah.
First woman, 1973. And
Was there resistance that you know of?
that I know of, no. Because she was just outstanding.
Okay.
She was outstanding. And with that, she had the respect of all the men because she was just as good as the men and better, then you know we're quite a few.
Yeah, but the men have to acknowledge that in order for it to make a difference.
Absolutely. Well, the whole point is when you're good, I mean, when you show you can play, you on the court.
Okay.
You're not on the bench.
So can we talk about that a bit, about the role of women over the years and from, I guess, from Ming's first days until now, and the changes in terms of decisions made and
I really would like to have my
I
comrades
agree.
because
I
I don't
agree.
want to dominate this because
Okay, sorry. I'm an outsider, which means I don't believe the vision from before should be the same today. And if anyone holding the past as the number one inspiration, I will dismiss it. So, like as I say today, it's like it requires a lot of people today, from male and female. That's why I don't separate. I just feel like it's good questions for men today also to just answer that question of bringing another vision to the world. So that's why I want to ask Jill.
Ask me.
Yeah. Like what you
I grew up
yeah.
being influenced by both men and women
Okay.
in music, fine art, and photography. I mean, Imogene Cunningham was in the forefront of my visual initiation from the very beginning. Margaret Burke White. I mean, I was always George O'Keeffe. In my life, women have been there. When I came to New York in 1979, 78,
I was 2 years old.
I've been here 40 years. I can't believe it. I've been in New York 40 years. But Carrie
New
Mae
York
Weems,
is having a hard time coming to grips with that, too, that you've been with us for 40 years.
Yeah.
I want you to know that.
well, they got a long way to go.
Clap, 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 clap,
New York got a
clap.
long way to go. But there was Carrie Mae Weems, there was Lorna Simpson, Corrine Simpson. So I've always known women photographers who were Jeannie Matusme Ash. I mean, these
That's
I
right.
consider them peer
Yeah.
in every way.
As a new member, what would you like to see as Kamoinge going forward? Any changes?
I mean, they did already the change because they did an exhibition about Black women, Grace, and it's opening actually the access and the conversation to portray the image of a Black woman today in this world, and that's why it was so successful. And that was a lot of Black women came to watch the show and be affected by the show. And thanks, and then they came asking for signature because they want to feel related to that, respect. And today, like more than before, like in the virtual world today, and then I say it because I study like vision. I call that, it should be another kind of school called the science of vision, where you can really kind of dissect the way that people see the world today. And then in terms of Black women, it's the opposite. It's like Black women are so beautiful, right? So they literally put their body online like crazy. The Black body is fantastic. It looks like a living sculpture every day, all the time. So it's really easy for Black women to grab attention. But on the other side, there is one aspect who's not being nurtured, which means the psyche of a Black woman is a Mama Africa, or it's beyond that. It's like she has kind of a wisdom of the ancestors. That's how I feel about the gift of like having my family from Senegal. It's like I feel there is so much depth to it, and the depth is not about the body. So to demystify the body of a Black woman, we need men photographer, women photographer, to finally tell a new story. And this is what Kamoinge is pushing forward. That's why they use the word grace,
If we just back up for 1 second, we're talking about women photographers. It used to be, it was mostly a male-dominated world. Now women are making more of an impact right now. You're seeing more women photographers, more women artists, everything else of that sort. I shot commercially for many, many years. And
Yeah.
invariably, the person who gave me the assignment, and I brought this up before in other shows, was female.
That's the opposite for me. They all be male. Women hire men. Men hire women.
So maybe we have to start at home.
That's
huh?
why. That's why it's very
I
interesting
seriously said,
conversation.
why is that? That gets me.
Because women want to support other women, and they don't have the background to just believe and trust a woman for a job of $50,000 to $100,000. So they will literally subconsciously hire men because the industry is a male, and then the men can. I'm gonna come to a set like this. If I come to a set like this, which has happened to me many times, people believe I was the model. I take care of 2 assistants. I can take care of the light. I can take care of everything dressing like this. Who's going to believe this? That's a misperception of what women should look like as a photographer. And there's only 2 or 3 examples, which is Annie Leibovitz or, Kamoinge and all those women that you say they're artist photographer. I don't want to be an artist photographer only. I want to actually be a part of the industry and get those big jobs to actually produce the artwork. That's my goal. I want to be like, not even as big as Annie Leibovitz. No, I want to be like an outsider photographer where actually you bring another perception of how it is to be a photographer as a woman. This is something that I'm creating on my own because it doesn't exist. It's like women, they're kind of scary or they're emotional. So who's going to hire them? It's like you have to demystify the idea that like a black woman or a woman in general can't run a big production. And that's the first breaking through when people see me or like see me going to B&H and buying the tools, asking questions about the technical stuff. They always kind of surprised.
Yeah, I would like to jump in and add, if I can
Yeah,
piggyback on what Delphine's saying. When you think about how many women are in positions of power, we have, everyone knows about Kathy Ryan, the New York Times, and there are some pillars. But when we talk about black women, I mean, it's shameful.
I never can be upset. You understand what I mean? I learned to never be upset because I know I'm the 0.5%. So if I go to any meetings and people looking for working with me or anything like this, it's like I can't take anything personal.
You
Because
lose as soon as you do.
Yes.
Can't be yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, but like even more because of that perception.
Sure.
And this is why I have to just state like some other new members to the group, Leila Matuda Banan, Delphine Fawundu, particularly these 2 women who just came out with a book last year called MFON, and it is a collective. It is a book of all, black women photographers of the African diaspora. And it is pretty much creating the space for black women photographers to have their voice, to, to be inspired, to get seen. And I also have to give, honorable mention to Dr. Deb Willis, who is also, too, a pillar in the industry, who has made countless books, has created, epic opportunities for me. She gave me my first opportunity to be published in Black: A Celebration of Culture. And she is consistently opening her arms. But are there many Deb Willises? No. She's, the only one. And this is a big problem. And when we look at even the art world, there is, when you think about the Studio Museum, is it only black institutions where we can be in positions of power?
That's kind of a question I wanted to.
Is it only, and when you think about, this is supposed to be the art world of the liberal mind, the abstract, the open mind. And how is it that this field, is, and particularly even here in New York City, that how many black curators do we have? How many people are on staff? Are we even getting put in the positions to author our own story?
Yeah,
like
more
writing.
and more it's happening.
Exactly.
A lot of it is just us taking responsibility for ourselves. It's just you deciding to do it and you go do it.
Right.
That's it. It's not about anything else or anyone else. If you have a story you want to tell and it's not being told, your responsibility to yourself is to get it told.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. And I am delighted that at least technology, has platforms like Instagram and just the internet has created some spaces, and even like how we are here right now.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? Like,
It's even the playing field.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Does Kamoinge have a site, Instagram? Just
Yes,
to throw it out there.
our
Okay, yeah.
our Instagram page is at Kamoinge _images.
Okay.
So you can follow us there. But you know what? Even got to
We'll
give,
mention it again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got to give thanks to like Ruddy Roy, because I believe
Yeah.
you interviewed him.
Yeah, he's here for
right.
you.
Exactly. He's been a Kamoinge member for about as long as me, 14 years. And the work that he's done, like just completely reinventing himself, and you know what, seeing, you know what, having the vision and seeing the power really of this phone, this phone and what it could do.
You noticed.
Absolutely. And how, you know what, it has taken him all over the world. And you know what, from getting, you know what, Time Photographer of the Year, shooting at National Geographic. And it has, you know what, for one, been able to make some of us more visible. So where I think some photographers or some editors or curators, they didn't necessarily, it wasn't necessarily easy or didn't know exactly where to go. You know what, they have been able to, I think, see who we are through technology. And now, you know what, people are making a conscious effort, you know what, to make things, you know what, better.
And is there room for everything in Kamoinge? All kinds of photography?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
Have you guys had these conversations when someone comes in with their work for critique and you say, you know what, artistically I like it, but I don't know, let's say
It doesn't
social
fit our
politics
school
don't
of,
fit
doesn't
what
fit
we're
our school
talking
of
about.
thought or something.
right. No, I mean, Kamoinge, so really a great point you're bringing up is not everything in Kamoinge is just has this socio, you know what, I would say, context. We have people like Adja Cowens, who is a trained painter, as well as images on the cover, who has done, you know what, fine artwork, even people like John and Pindius, people doing abstract multimedia work, landscapes. We have people do commercial work. Frank Stewart, I mean, has done documented music. I mean, Jules Allen over here, I mean, he's shot some stuff for Coors, done everything. Yeah. So we have people, and then even here like Delphine, you know what, we have, you know what, people who do conceptual work, the other Delphine Fawundu, we have, and then even like Jamel Shabazz. Yeah. I mean, like his work.
Jamel.
There we go. Jamel, I mean, legend.
Still on the shows lately.
Absolutely.
The great. I call him the great.
Jamel, the great.
Yeah.
Great brother, great photographer. I mean, what he captured even in the 80s, you know it, as a young man, capturing, I would say, really a time capsule of what
I love his
hip-hop.
obsession. But
Exactly.
I love his obsession about it.
Absolutely.
You know, he was on a mission, you know.
Absolutely. And early Brooklyn hip-hop at a time where I think there was just some movies out really just showing really what New York City was like and capturing everyday life.
Especially after Gordon Parks and the directing of Gordon Parks after his pictures like doing Shaft. I mean, that's how we learn in France, you know what? And then you just realize that after that, or like at the same time of Shaft, there's an entire real world.
That's right.
And then Jamel like make us discovering this.
Absolutely.
From like all around the world. You have to understand how big Jamel was when he just blew up in Europe and everybody was discovering how black people in New York was living.
Absolutely. And then also too, during the time of the crack era and how that ravaged black and brown communities, just ravaged. And here it is, he has this soul. He has love. He has family. He has a whole, you know, what, visual narrative of us that the world does not see every day. And it was real. It's what we saw in our communities. But you know what? Was it, you know what, making all of the premier magazines and papers at the time? No. And that work,
right?
Absolutely, and that work is going to live forever.
Yeah.
That's one great thing about his Instagram account too, because he can bring out a lot of the stuff he shot back in the day that never made it out, and now you're seeing it too. But talking about the show a little bit, and to your point, there is about every kind of photography in that show. To some that I would, there's one image that kind of stuck out to me, which was you almost might want to call it, it could be a news photo, but it almost could be a family photo. It was 5 or 6 women who had just graduated college. It's a color photo, and you wouldn't look at it as an art photo or a documentary photo necessarily, but it really speaks volumes, that photo, and it's one of the ones that stuck in my head after going through that
Absolutely.
that exhibit. But yeah, there's a widest range, and I guess that speaks to the idea of a collective too, because a collective will bring in a wide range, and not everybody is one type of photographer or even a great photographer necessarily. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. The photograph you're speaking of is John Pinderhughes,
yeah.
And that is of a Spelman graduation.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely love that photograph. I mean, again, Spelman, a pillar, again, in our community of just producing, extraordinary black women, consistently. And here it was, you have something that I think not enough maybe young girls may see. Mm-hmm. So the power of that image, for the young lady, whether she is a little girl, whether she's in high school, or even, for the mothers out there who are taking care of their families, is to be inspired. And this could be you. And seeing a reflection of yourself that you can identify with. So that photograph, again, is something that I think we need to see more images of.
Did you curate? Can we talk a little about the curating of the show and the decisions that went into it, and how you chose images? Did people submit knowing that there was an exhibit on this theme coming up, and members had contributed, and then you chose from there, or how'd that work out?
I'll let my brethren and my sister speak.
How this exhibition came about is, as far as I know, is Russell and Adger came up with an idea. It was put on the table. We talked about it. We fought about it. We resolved
No blood.
Well, what were some of the debates? I mean, who to include? Male photographers, women photographers?
No. The debate is editing. What is the format of the exhibition going to look like? What's the content of the work going to be? How do we decide who's in and who's not in? How is the work juried? Print size, framing, stuff like that.
Well, that goes into every show.
Well, how did you
it's
decide?
no different than anybody else.
Well, how did you decide?
Absolutely.
Well, tell me some of the factors then. What went in? I mean, to the decisions and what got ruled out.
We submitted work, and the jurors selected the work based on work that was submitted, and then we decided that we were in agreement as a group. We saw what was edited and selected, and as far as I understand, we were pretty much in agreement.
And as a collective, everybody has to sign off on it, or
I think
left
that
to the,
as many people who participated voluntarily had the right to. So people who wanted to participate showed up and made the decisions, and people agreed with it, and the exhibition was mounted.
Absolutely, and just to give a little bit of history, about 20 years ago, Adger Cowan had this idea, what to do a show on the black woman, at his studio and at a Kamoinge meeting. And over the years, since I've been in Kamoinge, it was talked about, and it was last year when I really picked up the torch and said, the time is of now, thinking about many things that were just happening, just with the exit of the Obamas. And here it is, we had Michelle Obama, just this symbol of, again, just sophistication and something that's a woman that was relatable to a lot of us and to the world. And then also, too, thinking about, again, countering the negative images, which we see a lot of on reality TV, that I think have saturated the market in a way that has been just destructive. And how, and also, too, with the rise of the black woman in the professional world, getting their education, honoring our mothers, our grandmothers, our families. I mean, the backbone of our community. From the first image of the show, of Dr. Betty Shabazz.
That's a great shot.
Man. Whew.
Yeah.
Smoker.
I like to. I mean, this gets off a little bit off that topic, but I looked at that one a number of times, just and the police officers that were there with her.
That's right.
And
Percy
that
Sutton,
yeah.
you know, with their attorney at the time, to even the last image of Terrence Jennings at Freddie Gray protests.
Right. Yeah, with that child on the
Absolutely on the shoulders and everything that comes in between, where the accomplishments, the athlete, you know, with the sister who is.
The Eli Reed photo.
Absolutely, Eli Reed photo, about to do the shot put. So it's also too showing the black woman in a way that I think the world doesn't even know or doesn't see. But you know what? We know her as this. And you know what? In our duty as photographers and what we do, I mean, Delphine's work over here, committed to, you know what, showing women in positions that are strong, that are honorable, also too with children.
I don't want to scare a man.
No. The strong guys, the confident, the secure ones, the strong ones won't be scared.
Your two portraits in that show are incredible, though. I mean, they stand out. I mean,
It choose wisely, but I make sure that all my work is striking before I send it.
Of course.
So I never have conflicts.
There we go. You see the Kamoinge standard. The Kamoinge standard
Whatever you
personified.
choose, I'm okay with it.
There you go.
Sounds good.
By the way, we keep mentioning the word Kamoinge. Okay, I want to spell it because if you're going to do it phonetically, you're going to be lost. It's K-A-M, like Mary, O-I-N-G-E. Jules, where should people go if they would like to see more of your work? And by the way, you spell Allen wrong. It's A-L-L-A-N. I don't know where you got this. So you might want to correct that.
You're probably right. My parents didn't know how to spell their last name, so I'm sure the E was a mistake.
Well, actually, you know, mine was supposed to be one L, and they made a mistake at the hospital, but I haven't had a chance to get back to it. So, okay, we both got to do it.
It's too late now.
Too late.
It's A-L-L-E-N. It's too late. It's too late, man. JulesAllenPhotography.com or Amazon Books, Jules Allen Amazon Books.
Okay.
5 books in print.
Russell, aside from doing voiceover and a Barry White cover band that you do on the side, people want to see your photography. Where should they go?
They could go to russellfrederick.com. That's RUSSELL, Frederick, F-R-E-D-E-R. Or just look me up on Google or R Frederick Photo on Instagram.
Okay. And last but not least, Delphine Diallo. People want to see your work. Where should they go?
Very active on Instagram. So
Okay.
Delphine Diallo, D-L-P-H-I-N-E, D-I-A-L-L-O. And then if you want to get an insight of the madness of the work, it's my website.
And your website is...
You have to take time to just travel the world.
Take the time, because there's a whole bunch of stuff there, from still lifes of cameras. That's a great little section you got there.
Thank you.
To the fashion work, to the artwork, to the collage, to the portraiture.
It's like an extending world.
It's an experience. Let's just say that. It's an experience, all right?
It is the Black Woman, Power and Grace, and that is where is the show hanging again?
The show is at the National Arts Club, 15 Gramercy Park. It will be up to June 30th. And actually on June 30th, we are going to have an artist talk at 2 p.m. And the show is open Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, and it's free, everybody. Just come on down and, you know what, and see our celebration in love and honor to the Black woman.
Alrighty.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for
inviting
us.
Real sweet having you guys here.
It's been fantastic.
Absolutely. Did you know that our podcasts have been proven to help build strong bodies and minds? Head on over to Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, Player FM, SoundCloud, or YouTube and sign up for instant access to all of our upcoming shows, as well as access to over 100 past episodes. It's free, it's easy, and it's the best darn photo podcast on the planet. So, that said, on behalf of John, Jason, and myself, thank you so much for joining us today.